Although some people might disagree, the fountain or basis of most Western magic is in Qabbalah. Not a religion, but a permanently evolving philosophical system explaining the universe and the self. Unique and sophisticated, this system immortalizes its wisdom by encapsulating it in its central schema, the Tree of Life. Having multiple ways to be looked at and numerous layers of understanding, the Tree of Life is one of the first things to get acquainted with when studying methods like the Golden Dawn and Telema. And while that implies delving into its different segments, examining it as a whole first seems to be the best approach to take if considering the unfortunate's mystical Qabbalah. Due to that and for convenience, this post bases itself on a brief introduction and examination of one of the concepts within the tree, its 3 pillars. So, with all that said, please subscribe to this channel if you like my content, consider purchasing my book if you want to support me, and let's begin. The Tree of Life and the 3 Veils of Negative Existence. Having its roots in heaven, the Tree of Life grows top to bottom, flourishing oppositely. Omitted on most diagrams, above it are found the 3 veils of negative existence, representing the highest divinity to be the source of all. If included, the 3 veils are commonly depicted as tiny arched lines right above the topmost sephira. In actuality, however, they are said to look a lot like circles or ellipses, forming a cosmic egg totally independent of time and space. Kabbalistically, the absolute deity is beyond opposites, i.e. good and evil, God and devil, black and white, male and female, etc. Therefore, it is the ultimate unity beyond duality. It cannot be comprehended by a mere mortal, nor can it have any qualities or traits attributed to it, for they are all limiting. Due to this inscrutability, its first segment or veil of negative existence is called nothing or Ein, the second is Ein Sof or without limits, and the third Ein Sofor or limitless or infinite light. Apparently, this brings us to the principles of polarity and duality. Like the supreme divinity transcends division, the tree encompasses reconciling opposites in its entirety, and this is displayed through its most apparent component, which are the 10 circles. Called Sephirot, which is the plural for Sephira or sphere, these circles are regarded as divine emanations. Each of them is a level of consciousness and a realm of specific characteristics, processes and forces existing in the cosmos and the self. Hence, the totality of the tree represents the totality of the universe or God, and that of the human being. Said differently, the diagram outlines all levels of divine manifestation while being a roadmap of the soul. In fact, as such a roadmap, the tree provides understanding far superior to those of various psychology schools. Going much deeper than the rather simplistic division of conscious and unconscious, it gives the tools and tactics for exceedingly more profound analysis. And despite sharing some commonalities with those systems, Kabbalistic wisdom regards humans as potentially becoming something far beyond what they would ever allow. Besides the 10 spheres, there's another regarded as theoretical or shadowy, but that is a subject to call for a different post. Emanating straight out of the cosmic egg and being highest in the tree, the first is the sphere of Keter or the crown. It is the omnipresent and omnipotent perfection of one. Unmanifested and concentrated, the same is regarded as pure light. This means its pure consciousness, the radiance of which never diminishes. It only degenerates with each next sphere on the tree, and the more that happens, the more it increases its density, until finally materializing in number 10, which is the physical universe including the planet Earth and our physical bodies. Based on that, the spheres below Keter might be regarded as distortions or even filters of its pure light. The pillars of the tree. Taking a deeper look shows that the Sephirot are actually grouped in different ways. Being the most apparent, the first is in 3 lines or columns referred to as pillars, called Boaz and Yakin, as displayed on many Masonic artworks and tarot decks, particularly on the High Priestess Tarot Trump. The other 2 are those of Mercy and Severity. Composed of Sephirot 3, 5 and 8, Binah, Geburah and Hod or form Severity and Glory/Splendor, the black represents harshness, discipline, etc. Including Sephirot 2, 4 and 7, Chokmah, Chesed and Netzach, the right is that of Mercy. Interestingly, different authors name their sides differently. Either way, between those two is the middle pillar, known as that of mildness, balance and beneficence. The same is made of spheres 1, 6, 9 and 10, Keter, Tiferet, Yesod and Malkut, or crown, beauty, foundation and kingdom. Much like the Chinese yin and yang, the side pillars express the complementary principles of duality and polarity. Now, although it may be more logical for the black pillar to be masculine, whereas the white feminine, this is not the case. One explication of this can be found in Jung's theories of archetypes. They reveal that besides the nurturing, supportive and caring great mother, there is also the so-called terrible mother to be no longer fertile. Attributed to Binah, understanding, that archetype is expressed in numerous myths as an evil older woman or witch. Another reason for this reversal, as explained in Donald Michael Craig's Modern Magic, is because of some links existing between Kabbalah and Indian Tantra, and more specifically how Binah is expressed through Kali, whereas Chokmah through Shiva. Tantra views the archetypal female power as outgoing, stimulating and electric, while the male as receptive, calming and magnetic. And this is a dynamic that seems to align with the concept of the pillars. Considering the names of the spheres making the left and the right pillars reveals what severity and mercy are made of and their perfect balance within the three. Those of the black pillar show that severity requires understanding, Binah, the dynamics and laws of the cosmos, and applying and empowering them with justice. And while that's implemented via strength, if done without mercy, it leads to a surface display of power and splendor to be divided to virtues like grace, compassion and humanity. On the other hand, being merciful requires the wisdom of Chokmah for acknowledging that victory or Netzach really isn't possible without it. Lastly, the names of the four middle Sephiroth unfold that we live in the kingdom. Yet, to reach the crown Keter, we need a balanced approach toward life and everything. Therefore, we should not swing the pendulum too much to one side or the other, as written in the Kybalion. How to achieve that balance is by aiming for beauty, Tiferet, that really is harmony, or beauty resulting from harmony. Said differently, the way to the top is through the opposing forces' permanent reconciliation. And this, I believe, brings us back to the tree in its entirety. One of the key messages it conveys is that we should be responsible, always acting accordingly. Obviously, some situations call for severity, whereas others for mercy. Yet, just like too much severity leads to cruelty and perhaps unreasonable or senseless brutality, too much mercy makes one meek and a dummy to be easily taken advantage of. And though following the middle path might be the most beneficial for the vast majority of time, life demands flexibility. Plus, becoming complete and reaching one's full potential is only possible through the free utilization of all spheres. As Oscar Wilde says, everything in moderation, including moderation. So, as mentioned at the video's beginning, subscribe if you enjoy my content and click on that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, consider purchasing my book if wanting to support me, feeling my efforts deserve a reward. Entirely created by me, the book is available on Amazon on both Kindle and Paperback. Besides how to build a great physique naturally while getting your basic urges under control, it may teach you a thing or two about life and modern living. Thank you for your time.